we're not at a traditional marché, we're at the supermarché, but we have some ingredients that we need to get because we're going to make something traditionally French tonight. You want to see? Guess what we're having? We're back at the house now, and we're just headed down to our host's garden to get some vegetables to add to our beef bourguignon. It has been such a blessing to be here. This countryside, it's so calming and relaxing, and I am especially excited about being able to eat fresh vegetables from my garden. Peut-être 6. 6? Oui, comme ça. Merci. Vous voulez-vous manger avec nous ce soir?
Il faut que je vois avec Michel à quelle heure il veut finir ce soir. Vous mangez à quelle heure?
Peut-être 7 heures.
Mais il ne faut pas déranger pour nous. Il ne faut pas faire du travail pour nous.
Non.
Pas de travail.
Oui.
D'accord.
So I invited our hosts for dinner tonight, so I'm really hoping that this beef bourguignon will turn out okay, seeing as they are French after all. Yeah, so I hope it turns out well. Parsley. It's called persil en français.
What do you have there?
Strawberries.
Ooh, fresh from the garden? Nice. Is it for me?
Some.
Right, so we're going to get started. We're making beef bourguignon. We're in France. We're staying in a very tiny hamlet called Bourguignon. We were just told that there is a population of 13 people who live here, and there are 7 homes, and the homes here are just so beautiful. They have stone, they're built with stone, and it is just gorgeous, and I'm sure you'll see some of that footage that has been taken on our walk down to our host's home, where we gathered some vegetables to put into our beef bourguignon tonight. So I'm gonna get started now. I'm turning on sauté on the Instant Pot, and I'm going to render the lardon. And that's another thing I love about France, is that you can get bacon already cut up into bacon cut up into little chunks, and it's thicker than thick bacon, but if you don't find lardon, don't worry, just use bacon. I have about 200 grams here, and as soon as this is hot, I'm going to add that to my pot. In the meantime, I'm going to flour my beef, and they package it with the word bourguignon already on there, so I'm assuming that this is the stew meat that I'm going to use for the bourguignon. I can feel my pot really hot right now, so, oh, it says hot now. I'm gonna toss in my lardon. Just gonna cook that and wait for it to brown. In the meantime, I'm going to flour my beef. So I have about maybe half a cup to a cup of flour. In here we just want to lightly flour the beef, and we're going to brown that as well. We're just going to lightly coat this. And we'll be working in small batches so that we don't overcrowd the pot. I'll probably do this in 3 batches. The lardon is almost done rendering, but in the meantime, I'm just going to cut up my vegetables. They're so beautiful that I didn't even peel them. They came fresh out of the garden. And I'm going to leave them in fairly big chunks because I'm just going to throw them in at the same time as everything else. But I'm cooking the bourguignon for 40 minutes. So these carrots should be done by then. I'm scooping out my lardon. I'm going to add some, I'm going to turn this off because it's smoking. I'm going to add some olive oil and get my beef browned. Turning sauté mode back on. You don't want to overcrowd your pieces and don't burn yourself in the process. Since I don't have any whole onions, I'm going to be using shallots because that was what we had in the garden. So I'm just going to just chop them up roughly. They'll add a different flavor, but what's not to like about shallots? We also have these beautiful white onions that I'm going to just quarter, and we're going to add them a little bit later. These ones I'm not going to brown. Like scallions, green onions on steroids, the white part. So I'm just going to remove this first batch into my bowl. Now they're nicely browned. And browning is where all the flavor comes from. I'm going to add a little bit more oil to my pan because it seems a bit dry. I'm just using olive oil, and I'll put the next batch in. So I also picked some parsley and some thyme from the garden, and I just tied them up with a parsley strand, and we're going to throw that in for our herbs. And that will hopefully keep them together so I don't have to try to dish them out afterwards. We just want the flavor of the ingredients. So I just finished browning all of my meat. It took me a little bit longer than expected, so I got impatient and I bumped up the sauté mode to a higher setting. But now I'm going to cancel that and go back to a normal setting in sauté. I'm going to add a little bit of oil because it's still, I'm finding a little bit dry in here. But there's a lot of flavor going on in there. So I'm going to dump in my shallots. I'm going to stir that around for a little bit. To saute that for a little bit. Oh, my eyes! Also going to throw in the carrots. Just to get them going a little bit. And you all know how I love my already crushed garlic. So I've managed to find some of that. I'm just going to add maybe 2 or 3 cloves. Oh, it smells really good. I'm just going to get my bottle of wine open. I'm using a Bourguignon. Okay, and I'm going to use about, how much is in here? So I'm going to use about half. to deglaze. Maybe not, maybe about a cup. Because when we're making things in the Instant Pot, we need less liquid to get about the same amount of flavor. So right now, I'm just deglazing the bottom of the pot, which means to scrape off all the brown bits. Add just a little bit more in here. I'm going to put the beef back in, along with the lardon. I'm going to cancel the sauté mode. Toss in my onions and my herbs bouquet. And give it a quick toss. And try to get the herbs down to the bottom. Then I'm going to add some water. That was about a cup and a half of water. Okay, and don't forget to season your food. This is this great little pepper mill that we bought here. Okay, we're going to close the lid, put it on sealing, make sure that it's on sealing. Choose neat, and I'm going to adjust it to 40 minutes, and it should start on its own. I can't wait. I'm so excited, but at the same time I'm really nervous because we're having real French people over for beef bourguignon. So, see how it goes. So I'm sauteing some mushrooms to put in the beef bourguignon at the end. Mushrooms release quite a bit of liquid, so what I'm doing here is just letting it boil off, and hopefully it will start to brown the mushrooms, and then I'll stir it after. Sometimes I get impatient and I want to stir it, but I will let it cook and do its thing. So now you see all of the liquid is gone. And now it's just browning, which is what I would like it to do. So it's going to season them. A little bit of salt. And then you get that golden brown searing on the mushrooms. I'm just making some zucchini that we also received from their garden as a side. So our hosts brought over some beautiful bread. They used to be bakers, or they still bake, but by profession they were a farmer baker, where they would grow their own wheat, mill it, and then bake bread and sell the bread. So it's quite amazing, true farm to table. Okay, so it's finished cooking, and now I'm going to vent. I'm not as afraid of the venting valve anymore. Here we go. Looks good. I'll put in my mushrooms now. The meat is quite tender. And voila. Beef bourguignon in the Instant Pot. Bon appetit! And if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.